Back again with another trailer reaction. My name is Josh. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you click the thumbnail, yes, I'm actually here to check out some more Rebel Moon, which is again something I didn't really think I would say on this channel, as I really was excited for that first movie that came out from Zack Snyder and his Rebel Moon verse. I don't even know what he calls it now that he's created his own little universe on Netflix that kind of was based off of, if I'm not mistaken, a story that he had created originally to be a Star Wars movie, but that got turned down. So he's like, hey, Netflix has a bunch of money and they're going to give it to me, and they did. And he made a couple movies so far, I think. Rebel Moon Part 1, and then the second one, I don't even know if it was called Rebel Moon, but I did get really excited for that first one and then watched the movie and made my list last year for top 5 most disappointing. Last year, or year, no, it was last year because they released pretty close apart. It was horrible. Like, I have been a Zack Snyder fan for pretty much the entirety of his career that I'm aware of, like all the way from 300 all the way up to even the Justice League, Superman, Batman stuff that he did. I didn't think it was like the best in the world, but I did enjoy watching all of them, and I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the look of it. Like, there's certain things he just does really, really well. But what I've come to realize is I don't think that creating his own thing, and maybe especially writing scripts and dialogue, is not his thing, I don't think, because that movie was so atrociously bad that it makes me angry to kind of think about it. And that's why I tried to give the sequel a chance. And by chance, I mean I watched the trailer. And the only thing the trailer did was make me angry again because it reminded me of the first one. So I never got to watching the sequel. And from what I heard, I didn't miss much. But we've been told forever by the director himself, months before the first one came out, that there would be a director's cut coming out that's really going to be the story he wanted to tell, which, don't even get me started, how this just makes no sense of being on Netflix and having to have a director's cut when you can have violence. You can have whatever you want on Netflix. It's streaming. It's so infuriating, and just seems honestly like a straight up cash grab. Like, oh, well, we put some money in this property. Well, we're going to reuse the same property twice and add a couple things back in. But the trailer's here, and it's the Red Band trailer, so I wanted to see some of the stuff that got cut and maybe see if that will influence me to think differently, but I don't think that's the case, and I've got several reasons. One, the movie was already long. The first part, I think, was like 2 hours, and it was already boring and slow and didn't make sense. I'm assuming that some of the not making sense might be helped with more story, but the amount of slow-mo and weird shots that he did will probably eat up another hour or so. I don't know that prolonging a slow death would be a good thing in this case, but it's Zack Snyder's vision. So I wanted to see a little window into what he was actually hoping to do, because what I saw that came out of it was no bueno. All right, let's test it. Failed.
Go dig my grave, both wide and deep.
Nipples on a robot.
Place a marble stone at my head and feet, and on my
Hey, bud.
breast a snow white dove, to tell this world that I died for love. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lordy. Go wide and deep, and on my breast a snow white dove, to tell this world that I died for love. Oh Lordy, Lord, oh Lordy, babe.
At least I die on the side of honor.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Is there still such a thing?
Their wrath will be my vengeance.
Did those actually have like different titles than the other cut? That seemed weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but okay. So, much like the first trailer, when it came out for this same movie, he can cut a good trailer. Absolutely can. A lot of the visuals that Zack Snyder does, I mean, that's what he's known for. His visuals are awesome. Although, in this movie, I was severely let down the first time, the non-director's cut, because a lot of the stuff honestly just didn't look that good. There were a couple slow-mo shots that looked very crisp and clear, but a lot of the other ones were very murky and just didn't look very good, unclear, unfocused. But again, the trailer looks cool. Like, the actual visuals looked good. They added in violence. That was another thing that was missing completely from the first one. Not necessarily violence, but gore. There was definitely some violence, but you're like, okay, well, they just shot somebody in the head and there's nothing there. I don't know why they would even take that out. Maybe not make it as over the top as it looks like in this, somewhere in the middle, like a realistic thing, but who knows? So they made it hyper violent. There was definitely some more boobs, albeit on robots, which I don't know if I've ever seen them before or not, but interesting. I will say, I think the amount of slow-mo and dialogue that was in this trailer is proportionally correct to what will probably be in the movie, where about 90% of it's going to be in slow-mo, and there's going to be about 10 words of dialogue every hour or so, and it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. So I will say, it looked better than the first one because it had a lot of the things that one was severely lacking, albeit gore and maybe a little more fighting in general. But I don't think you can insert enough story to make that first story good. And I'm just kind of agitated even watching this, honestly. And I'm agitated more because it does look good. Like, it's almost hooked me to want to watch it again, except I remember wasting 2 hours of my life the first time and then saying, I'm not going to watch any more of this. So I might rewatch the trailer and see if that makes me feel suffice, because there's a lot more blood in here, and I can just imagine in those parts in the movie where they had nothing. But, hey, you know what? This comes out in August, and people are like, oh my God, it's so much better. It's just this completely different movie. Firstly, then whoever is in charge at Netflix needs to really do some self-evaluation, because why would you do that? You're like killing a franchise, and then, oh no, we're going to revitalize it with a last-ditch effort. What? But maybe if people are like, hey, it actually is much better, I might give it another chance. But as of right now, if I could burn Rebel Moon from my memory, I wouldn't want to, only because then I might make that mistake twice and then waste 40 hours of my life as opposed to just the 2 I already got in the bank. So, sorry, a little fired up, a little hypercritical on this one. It was very disappointing because I wanted it to be really good. But let me know what you guys thought. I know there were a good cluster of people out there that actually really did like those movies, and I know that there are some people that are probably a little more biased just because they really like Zack Snyder, which, again, I am a big Zack Snyder fan. Like, I would say 99% of his movies, other than this one, or up until this one, I was like just a fan of, owned, seen in the theater, but just took a nosedive. And then just the things you see afterwards, where I understand things are made to be art, and it's like your interpretation of art, but art is meant to be viewed, and you're getting paid to get people to view it. So you think you want to find some sort of a middle ground on what people want to see versus what you want to see, and I just don't feel that he has that ability as of late. So, ranting a little bit. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you're going to give this one a shot, and if you are, did you actually enjoy the first one? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Go to that subscribe button if you would. That'd be fantastic. And as always, you're awesome. Peace out.